Welcome back to Coins X Tales. We're exploring rare Lincoln Wheat Pennies, coins that have made people rich. Let's find out why you should never overlook these coins. Because who knows, a single coin could change your life. Don't miss this. Top 1. We are talking about a small coin that can turn into serious money if you know what to look for. I'm talking about the legendary 1952 VDB Lincoln Wheat Penny from the United States of America. Yes, a simple 1-cent coin, but in the right condition, it can be worth far more than 1 cent. The 1952 VDB Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted at the famous Denver Mint, and the D Mint mark you see below the date tells you it was struck in Denver. This coin is part of the classic Lincoln Wheat series that started in 1909 and ended in 1958. On the front, you see Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected presidents in American history. On the back, you see the 2 wheat ears design that collectors love so much. Now here is where it gets interesting. In 1952, the Denver Mint produced over 746 million pennies. That sounds like a huge number, and it is. So in circulated condition, this coin is common. But condition is everything in coin collecting. Most of these coins were heavily used in daily transactions. They were carried in pockets, dropped on streets, and spent in stores for years. Finding one in high grade with strong luster and sharp details is not easy. Collectors look for coins with full wheat lines on the reverse and strong details in Lincoln's hair and coat. A bright red color, known as red condition, is far more valuable than brown or red-brown examples. The difference in color alone can mean hundreds or even thousands of dollars. There are also errors that make this coin exciting. Watch carefully for repunched mint marks where the D mint mark looks doubled. Some collectors search for die cracks, off-center strikes, and double die varieties. While the 1952 D is not as famous as some other double die years, small varieties and striking errors can still bring strong premiums in the market. Another important factor is original mint state condition. Coins graded mint state 65 or higher by top grading companies are much harder to find. These high-grade examples are the ones that attract serious collectors and competitive bidders at auctions. So what is the real market value of the 1952 VDB Lincoln Wheat Penny? In circulated condition, this coin usually sells for around 3 cents to 50 cents depending on wear and eye appeal. In uncirculated mint state condition, values typically range from around $15 to over $100 depending on grade and color, and very high grades with strong red color. Auction records have reached over $1,000. Exceptional gem examples have sold for around $2,000 to $3,000 at major auctions. So before you ignore that old penny in your collection, check the date. Look for 1952 and the small D mint mark. Check the color. Check the condition. Because one small detail can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. Coin lovers, listen very carefully. Every penny has a story. And sometimes, that story is worth a lot of money. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more rare Lincoln Wheat pennies that could be hiding in your pocket or collection, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your next penny could be your next big treasure. Top 2. We are diving into another classic coin that many collectors overlook but smart coin hunters always check carefully. The 1947 VDB Lincoln Wheat Penny from the United States of America. At first glance, it looks like just another old copper cent, but as every serious collector knows, condition and small details can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. The 1947 VDB Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck at the Denver Mint, and you can identify it by the small D mint mark below the date. This coin is part of the famous Lincoln Wheat series designed by Victor David Brenner, with Abraham Lincoln on the front and the iconic wheat ears on the back. In 1947, the Denver Mint produced over 194 million pennies. Compared to some other wheat cent years, that is a moderate mintage. Many of these coins circulated heavily after World War II, which means high-grade examples are much harder to find today. Most 1947 VDB pennies you see will be brown in color because copper naturally tones over time. But collectors pay strong premiums for coins that still have bright original red color. A full red example with strong mint luster and sharp wheat lines on the reverse can be worth significantly more than a worn brown coin. Now let's talk about what makes this coin exciting. First, condition is everything. Look closely at Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and coat. These are the first areas to show wear. On the reverse, check the wheat stalk lines. If they are sharp and fully visible, that is a good sign. Second, look for errors and varieties. Some 1947 D pennies show minor repunched mint marks where the D appears slightly doubled. There are also die cracks, off-center strikes, and lamination errors that can increase value. While there is no famous major double die for this year like some earlier dates, small varieties still attract collectors. Now let's talk real numbers that are in circulated condition. A 1947 D Lincoln Wheat Penny usually sells for around 3 cents to 40 cents depending on where and I appeal that I in uncirculated mint state condition. Prices generally range from around $20 to over $150 depending on grade and color designation. High-grade red examples certified in gem condition have sold at auction for around $1,000. Exceptional top population pieces have reached over $2,000 in strong competitive auctions. So before you spend that old wheat penny, check the date. Look for 1947 and the D mint mark. Examine the color, the details, and the overall condition carefully. One small difference can mean a big jump in value. Coin collectors, this is why patience matters. Hidden treasures are often hiding in plain sight. If you enjoy learning about valuable Lincoln Wheat Pennies and want to discover more coins that could be worth serious money, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the next rare coin breakdown. Your next penny could surprise you. Top 3. We are going to talk about a coin that many people confuse with one of the most famous error pennies in history. But this one is different. This is the 1955 D Lincoln Wheat Penny from the United States of America, and even without the famous double die, it can still be worth serious money in the right condition. First, let's clear something important. When collectors hear 1955, they immediately think about the legendary 1955 double die penny. But that rare error was struck in Philadelphia and has no mint mark. The 1955 D penny was made at the Denver Mint, and you can identify it by the small D mint mark below the date. The 1955 D Lincoln Wheat Penny features Abraham Lincoln on the front and the classic wheat ears design on the back. By 1955, the Wheat Cent series was nearing its end, with only a few more years before the design changed in 1959. Now here is where things get interesting. The Denver Mint produced over 563 million pennies in 1955. That means in circulated condition, this coin is common. You can still find worn examples in old collections, coin jars, and inherited rolls. But condition changes everything. Most 1955 D pennies were heavily used in everyday commerce. Finding one with strong luster, sharp details in Lincoln's hair, and fully defined wheat lines on the reverse is not easy. Collectors especially look for coins with original red color. A full red coin is far more valuable than a brown or red-brown example. Now let's talk about varieties and errors. Although the 1955 D does not have the famous major double die like the Philadelphia issue, there are minor double dies, repunched mint marks, die cracks, and off-center strikes known for this year. Error coins in high grade can bring strong premiums, especially if certified by major grading services. Another important factor is grading. A mint state 63 coin may be affordable, but once you move into mint state 65 red or higher, prices increase dramatically. Gem quality coins are much harder to find because so many were stored poorly or lost their original color over time. Now let's talk real market value in circulated condition. A 1955 D Lincoln Wheat Penny typically sells for around 3 cents to 30 cents depending on where in uncirculated mint state condition. Values usually range from around $15 to over $100 depending on grade and color. High-grade full red examples in gem condition have sold at auction for around $1,500. Exceptional top-grade pieces have reached over $2,000 in competitive bidding. So always check carefully. Look for the 1955 date and the D mint mark. Examine the color. Study the details. Because while it may not be the famous double die, a high-grade 1955 D penny can still be a valuable treasure. Coin lovers. Every wheat penny has potential. The key is knowledge. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to discover more Lincoln Wheat Pennies that could be worth big money, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your next valuable coin might already be in your collection. Top 4. We're going back to an early World War II era coin that many collectors still search for, the 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark from the United States of America. When you see no mint mark under the date, that means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1940, Philadelphia cents did not carry a mint mark, so a blank space below the year is completely normal for this issue. The 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny features Abraham Lincoln on the front and the classic two wheat ears on the reverse. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, had already been in circulation for more than 30 years by 1940 and was one of the most recognized coin designs in America. In 1940, Philadelphia produced over 586 million pennies. That is a large mintage, which means circulated examples are still common today. But here is what makes this coin interesting for serious collectors. Most 1940 pennies were heavily used during the early 1940s. Because of that, many surviving examples show strong wear. High-grade coins with sharp details are much harder to find than people expect. Collectors closely examine Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and hair detail. On the reverse, they check for strong wheat lines and clear lettering. Color is extremely important. Copper naturally tones over time, so most 1940 pennies today are brown. Red-brown examples are more desirable. Full original red coins with strong mint luster are the most valuable, especially if they have never been cleaned. There are also varieties and errors to watch for. Some 1940 no-mint mark pennies show minor double die features, die cracks, and off-center strikes. While there is no extremely famous major double die for this specific Philadelphia issue, error coins in strong condition can still command good premiums from collectors. Now let's talk about real market value in uncirculated condition. A 1940 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny typically sells for around 3 cents to 50 cents depending on condition. In uncirculated mint state condition, prices usually range from around $20 to over $150 depending on grade and color designation. High-grade full red gem examples have sold at auction for around $1,000 to $2,000. Exceptional top condition coins have reached over $3,000 in competitive auctions. So always check carefully. Look for the 1940 date and confirm there is no mint mark. Examine the color, surface quality, and sharpness of detail, because even a common date like 1940 can become a valuable coin in high grade. Coin lovers, never underestimate an old wheat penny. The difference between ordinary and valuable is often just condition and knowledge. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn about more Lincoln Wheat Pennies that could be worth serious money, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your next treasure might already be in your collection. Top 5. We're talking about a classic post-war coin that many collectors still search for in old jars and inherited collections. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark from the United States of America. If there is no mint mark under the date, that means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1946, Philadelphia did not use a mint mark on cents, so a blank space under the date is exactly what identifies this issue. The 1946 penny is special because it was the first full year of cent production after World War II ended. During the war years, the mint changed metal compositions, including the famous 1943 steel cents. But in 1946, the coin returned to its traditional bronze composition made primarily of copper. That gives this coin its rich reddish tone that collectors love. The total mintage for 1946 Philadelphia pennies was over 991 million coins. That is a very high number, which means worn examples are common today. You can still find circulated pieces in old collections without much difficulty. But here is where it becomes interesting. Most of these coins were heavily used in everyday transactions during the late 1940s and 1950s. Because of that, high-grade mint state examples are much harder to find than the large mintage suggests. Collectors look closely at Lincoln's cheek and jawline for signs of wear. On the reverse, they check the wheat stalk lines. Strong, sharp wheat lines and full detail mean better value. Color also plays a huge role. Brown coins are the most common and usually the least valuable. Red-brown examples are more desirable. Full red coins with original mint luster are the most valuable, especially if they have not been cleaned or damaged. There are also errors and varieties to watch for. Some 1946 no-mint mark pennies show minor double die features, die cracks, or off-center strikes. While there is no famous major double die for this year like 1955 Philadelphia, certain error coins can still bring strong premiums depending on condition and eye appeal. Now let's talk real market value in uncirculated condition. A 1946 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny usually sells for around 3 cents to 40 cents depending on where in uncirculated mint state condition. Prices generally range from around $15 to over $150 depending on grade and color. High grade full red gem examples have sold at auction for around $1,500. Exceptional top population coins have reached over $2,000 in strong competitive auctions. So before you ignore that old wheat penny, check the date carefully. Look for 1946 with no mint mark. Examine the color, the details, and the surface condition. Because even a common date can become valuable in the right grade. Coin collectors, remember this: knowledge turns pocket change into profit. If you enjoyed learning about the 1946 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny and want to discover more valuable coins that could be hiding in your collection, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your next big find could already be waiting for you.